Happy Sabbath one more time, family.
Happy Sabbath.
All right, for those who don't know, I'm Brother Al. This is my reader, Brother Lawrence. We're coming to you on behalf of the Vineyard of Israel, located at 1900 East Rosedale in Fort Worth, Texas. Zip code 76104. Once again, that address is 1900 East Rosedale, Fort Worth, Texas, zip code 76104. All right. So we want to, first of all, before we get started, let's thank the Lord for giving us a chance to serve him in spirit and in truth. Amen. I want to thank him for giving us a chance to bring his word on his holy Sabbath day, 7th day of the week. Somewhere throughout the lesson, I will get the Sabbath day in, because it's true. Right? So with that being said, the title of the message is Show Reverence to the King. Right? Show reverence to the King. She didn't write my definition. She getting tired on me. Shortcut. Right? So I had a definition. Most of us may not know exactly what reverence is. Reverence is just to show proper respect or honor. And that's what the King demands. It's only one King. That's the Most High God. Right? So when we say the King, that's what we're talking about. There's many little old kings around here on earth, but that's his title is King of Kings, Lord of Lords, right? The King. That's the only one that we really got to worry about. And a lot of times, we really don't know how to come to him. We really don't know how to show him proper respect. A lot of times we come to him, we want something, we want him to perform, a duty for us, but you could be offending him in the way you approach him, in the way you come to him. You could be not doing it correctly. Because when you got a king demands certain things. A king demands fear from his people. You demand respect, honor, right? That's what he demands. Praise. This one demands praise and worship. Because he's not one of them kings that just take. He gives. This king is above everybody. He gives you life, food, water, shelter, clothing, and whatever else it is you can name. You don't get that from your own work. Even your life itself, you're getting that from the King himself. And a lot of times he have a problem with it too, with the way that we come to him. So sometimes you be praying and wondering why your prayer is not getting answered. Well, if you're not committing sin, because number one, we know we don't hear the prayer of a sinner. Well, if you're not committing sin, maybe you didn't approach him correctly. See, a lot of times Christianity teaches us that we can just come to God as we are. Make no mistake about it, God don't accept everything. He told you that on the second page of the Bible. Genesis 4th chapter. Man tried to show you that. You missed it. You can't come to him as you are. If you come to him how you are, you haven't repented. You a dirty vessel. You can't use no dirty vessel. We're dealing with a clean king. Right? So we're going to learn certain things that we have to do in order to approach the king correctly. First and foremost, we'll start out Psalm 47 chapter. We're going to let him introduce himself to us a little bit. Psalms 47 chapter. We'll start at verse 1. So a lot of times the Lord uses these little kings in the Bible too to show you, because the whole Bible is written about God. He used these little kings in the situations they go through to show you how to approach and come to him correctly and show you really, I'm using these people, but in all actuality, the book is talking about me. That's what you don't never need to forget. All these different characters and stuff in the Bible is just pointing you to the Lord. So picking up at that first verse, Psalms 47 and 1, hearken to the scripture.
Oh, clap your hands.
Who?
All ye people.
Do what else?
Shout unto God.
For what?
With the voice of triumph.
Okay, triumph. You shout with the voice of triumph is when you done got the victory. Right? You know how you shout when you done won, right? Just like you will shout if you received $1,000 check right now. Mm-hmm. Right? That's what he's talking about. Come on.
For the Lord Most High is terrible.
That's what you need to know about. You think he always sweet little baby Jesus sitting and ain't doing nothing, let you do whatever you want to do, and everything is good no matter what you do? That's a fairy tale God. You need to know this about the man. He wrote this book. He wrote these things about himself. The Lord is what you say?
The Most High is terrible.
Better know it. Go ahead.
He is a great king over all the earth.
Where is kingdom at?
Over all the earth.
He is what kind of king is he, you say?
A great king.
See, that's what we need to know. But that's not how we approach him a lot of times. We approach, man, he's just a little old common man, right?
True.
That's how. You in violation. The man letting you know he's a great king, and I'm gonna show you as we go down the line. You can't approach a king any kind of way you want. Go ahead and read.
He shall subdue the people under us.
That's what he gonna do, because he gonna rule this earth. All right, go ahead.
And the nations under our feet.
Go ahead and read.
He shall choose our inheritance for us.
Go ahead.
The excellency of Jacob whom he loved. Selah.
Go ahead.
God is gone up with a shout.
Yes.
The Lord with the sound of a trumpet.
Come on.
Sing praises to God.
For what?
Sing praises. Sing praises unto our King. Sing
You
praises.
see what he demanded? He said it 4 times. He made a whole verse out of sing praises. Praise belong to God.
That's right.
He gonna run down some of his work and show you why he deserved to be praised. He's not just telling you sing praise to me for no reason. You need to sing praise to him just because he got your breath in his hand. Man done made everything you see, visible and invisible. He made it. He said, sing praises unto our God. Sing praises to the King. Go ahead.
For God is the King of all the earth.
Yes.
Sing ye praises with understanding.
See, that's how you're supposed to sing. That's why we change these songs. You know, you in the common, Christian community, they teach you, they write 95,000 songs about going to heaven. Well, when you get some understanding of the Bible, you find out ain't no man going to heaven when he dies. As a matter of fact, the kingdom is coming down.
Right.
So ain't no reason why you should be singing God a song about going to heaven when you know that's a lie.
That's right.
That's what he means. Sing with understanding. Ain't no man going, he said, ain't no man went to heaven except he who came down. That's the only one. And yet and still, we got preachers that do and teach opposite. And people believe it. But we got to believe on Jesus according to the
Scriptures.
Amen. The scriptures don't support going to heaven. They support God's kingdom coming down and him ruling over the whole world. And he's going to subdue it because they're not going to want to give up their kingdom. That's what we're reading about. He's going to put them all under his feet. He's going to be king over the whole earth. And he's going to run this earth from one country. And we're going to learn what that is in a minute. Go ahead.
God reigneth over the heathen.
Yes.
God sitteth upon the throne of his holiness.
That's right. Come on.
The princes of the people are gathered together.
What?
Even the people of God of Abraham.
Yes.
For the shields of the earth belong unto God.
And what else?
He is greatly exalted.
That's right. Exalted means lifted up. He is greatly exalted. Because he gonna run over the heathen, rule over the heathen and everybody else too, his people and everything. He gonna rule the earth with dominance. From one end of the earth to the other. And he gonna do a drop down into that 48 Psalm and pick me up at verse 1. We're gonna see where he gonna rule it from. Go ahead.
Great is the Lord.
Yes.
And greatly to be praised in the city of our God.
Right. So we know the Lord, the Most High, we know he's the terrible king that reigning over the whole earth, right? We're gonna pick up another one of his titles in a minute. Go ahead.
In the mountain of his holiness.
Yeah, so he got a spot chose out, the mountain of his holiness. We're going to learn that exact location. Go ahead.
Beautiful for situation.
Yes.
The joy of the whole earth
right.
is Mount Zion.
That's Mount Zion. That's the joy of the whole earth. Mount Zion is Jerusalem or Israel. That's where he's going to rule from. Go ahead.
On the sides of the north.
He's telling you exactly where he's going to be. That's where the throne will be set up, on the sides of the north.
The city of the great king.
The city of the great king. Pick me up at Isaiah 44, verse 5. Isaiah 44. What kind of king is he?
Terrible.
Terrible. Great. Right? Rule over the whole world. Where he going to rule from? Mount Zion, Israel, Jerusalem. Pick me up at Isaiah 44. We're going to read one verse 6. Go ahead.
Thus says the Lord, the King of Israel.
So now you got he got a little more specific with it. He let you know he the king over who?
Israel.
That's right. The king of Israel is the great king who reigns over the whole world. That's the king that's in heaven. Right, go ahead.
And his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts.
Yeah.
I am the first.
And what else?
And I am the last.
Yes.
And besides me, there is no God.
So we know the king over Israel, that's God. Since you don't believe me, we're going to put a name on it. Pick me up at Revelation 22. You can pick me up at verse 13. Revelation 22 and 13. He said, he the king over Israel. He said, he the first. He said, he the last. He said, besides me, there is no God.
Right.
So we're going to find out who this first and last is. Verse 13, hearkening to the scripture.
I am Alpha and Omega.
What that mean?
The beginning and the end.
What else?
The first and the last.
So this the king of Israel, Alpha, Omega, the first and the last, one and the same. The great and terrible God. Right? Who else? Go ahead.
Blessed are they that do his commandments.
Oh, so he's letting you know right off the top, he got some commandments. Matter of fact, if you want to be blessed, it's in your best interest to do the commandments.
Right.
Not nail them to the cross. Now you know, this is the last page in the Bible. Once you get past this, you got what? Glossary and all of that.
Right.
You know, overview of the Bible and everything else.
Right.
So this is the last, the man is talking about his commandments on the last page of the book. And yet still we got preachers that come and deceive the people and tell them that the law was nailed to the cross. Jesus did it all. He fulfilled that old cursed law when he died on the cross. Mm-hmm. That's philosophy. That's vain to see. The scriptures do not support that. That's theology. That's what they teach you in seminary school.
Cemetery.
Exactly. Cemetery school. Right? But the Bible don't support that. Go ahead.
That they may have the right to the tree of life.
And if the right to the tree of life, that's eternal life. That's what you need to live eternally. And he said it'll be the only way you're going to get right or access to that tree is if you do his commandments. Right. Go ahead and read.
And may enter in through the gates into the city.
See, the city, the city is on earth. The only way you're going to get in is if you keep the, it's like your key. Without that, you're not getting into the city. And this is who was on the outside. Go ahead.
For without are dogs.
Yes.
And sorcerers.
What else?
And whoremongers.
Yes.
And murderers.
Who else?
And idolaters.
Yes.
And whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
That's everybody who breaks the commandments of God.
Say that.
Go ahead and read.
I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify. I, Jesus.
That's the Alpha and Omega. That's the first and that's the King of Israel. That's the great. It's one and the same. It's the same person we've been reading about, right?
Right.
The first and the last, King over Israel, the great and terrible God. Who you say he was again?
I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches.
Don't you know people don't even know this about Jesus? They think he's still in the manger.
Right.
No, I'm just saying, like they think he's still on the cross. They would not get him off the cross. Man been hanging up 2,000 years. That's ridiculous. He said, I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to what?
To testify unto you these things in the churches.
So you should know who he is. Because if your church got the truth, he done sent his angel to testify who he is unto you. And look what they supposed to let you know. Go ahead.
I am the root and the offspring of David.
That means I was before and after. He didn't come with Mary. He didn't start with Mary. He been here. He's everlasting. I was before David and I'm going to be after David. That's the root and the offspring, before and after. The first and the last. The beginning and the end, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And the bright and morning star.
And the bright and morning star. That's who he is. And you should know that about this man. So let's go a little bit further. Pick me up at Ecclesiastes 8, verse 2. Because the king just counseled us to keep his commandments. He said that you may have right to the tree of life and enter in through the city, to the gates of the city. Ecclesiastes 8. We'll start at verse 2. Ecclesiastes 8 and 2. Hearken to the scripture.
I counsel thee to keep the king's commandment.
What do counsel mean? I mean, he advises you, right? What is his advice to you?
Keep the king's commandment.
Go ahead.
And that in regard of the oath of God, be not hasty to go out of his sight.
That's what we can't wait to get out of this. We can't wait till that sun go down on that Saturday. We out here sun watching. Huh?
Real talk.
We waiting on that sun to go down. We out here on Friday waiting, looking. It's almost a Sabbath. Let me hurry up and do my last little bit of devil, man. Woo, woo, woo. Right? But he said, don't be hasty. Don't be in a hurry to go out of his sight. The only reason you in a hurry to go out of his sight because you want to get into some foolishness.
Right.
Go ahead.
Stand not in an evil thing.
He's letting you know, don't stand in agreements with something that's evil. Even another scripture tell you, don't stand with a multitude to do evil. Because a multitude of people are always going to do evil. And they're going to always try to persuade you. No matter if a lie is told by a billion people, it's still a lie.
Say that.
You just got a billion liars. That's what he lets you know, all men are liars. Go ahead.
For he doeth whatsoever pleaseth him.
Come on.
Where the word of a king is,
where is it?
There is power.
So that's what he let you know. No matter what a man tell you, if you got a king, say where the word of a king is, that's where power is. What you mean power? Power to kill and make alive. Power to bless, power to curse. Right? He got the power to do with whatever he wants. So it'll behoove you to obey the word of the king. That's what he's counseling you to do. Number one thing the king told you to do is keep his commandments. You might not have $1 in your pocket to give the king. But it's something you can do. Keep his commandments.
Right.
Because you know what is special about it? You said you was going to do that on your own. He didn't force you to do that. So you gave your word to the king. So now the king expects you to pay up. Now you in debt. You owe him that. You said you was going to do it. He expected you to fulfill your vow. No matter what happened. Right? Go ahead.
And who may say unto him, what doest thou?
Now who's going to say that to the king? Nobody. When you come before a king, you be shivering. That's what he means. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. That's when you're in the presence of the king, you're supposed to have great fear in your heart. Because you don't never know if this is going to be your last breath or not. Because remember, he do what he wants. Go ahead.
5.
Yes.
Whoso keepeth the commandments shall feel no evil thing.
That's right. And then not only do he tell you to keep them, he give you counseling and advice and let you know what's to come for keeping them. It's good for you to keep. He said, whoever keeps the commandments shall feel no evil thing. Go ahead.
And a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment.
That's right. A wise man's heart does discern both time and judgment. One more verse and we'll escape.
Because to every purpose there is a time and judgment. Therefore the misery of a man is great upon him.
Okay, so now he said that where the king's word is, there's power. Let's go see how powerful the word of a king is. Let's get an example. Pick me up at 2 Samuel 6. 2 Samuel 6. This king we dealing with is very specific. He likes things done a certain way. Once you get outside of the boundaries of the things he set up, it's a fight that come with that. 2 Samuel 6. Let me get there. I was in 1 Samuel. 2 Samuel 6. Pick me up at verse 1.
Again,
What happened?
David gathered together all the chosen men of Israel, 30,000. And David arose and went with all the people that were with him from Baal of Judah to bring up from thence the ark of God.
Right, because the ark of God, that's what represents the presence of the Lord here on earth. All right, so that ark of God was supposed to stay with Israel. So David went up to get it, and what happened?
Whose name is called by the name of the Lord of hosts that dwelleth between the cherubims.
That's right, and he have a mercy seat, and on that mercy seat he had 2 cherubims facing within. That mercy seat is the seat that he sits on when he get ready to pass judgment. He shows mercy. Inside the ark contains the 10 commandments and some more stuff. Right, so that represents his presence on earth. Go ahead.
3. And they set the ark of God upon a new cart,
right,
and brought it out of the house of Abinadab that was in Gibeah, and Uzzah, and Ahio, and the sons of Abinadab drave the new cart. And they brought it out of the house of Abinadab, which was in Gibeah, accompanying the ark of God. And Ahio went before the ark.
Okay.
And David and all the house of Israel played before the Lord on all the manner of instruments made of fir wood, even on harps, and on psalteries, and on timbrels, and on cornets, and on cymbals.
Right. So I'm not going to touch that because I might lead into something else, but they got the ark. They carried it, right? It's a certain way you got to do it. So they going and they got instruments and music, and they playing before the Lord, right? They bringing the ark into the city. So what's going to happen? Tell me some more.
And when they came to Nachon's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of God and took hold of it, for the oxen shook it.
So Uzzah, he was just going, the ark shook, right? And when they was carrying the oxen, I guess he stepped on a rock, whatever the case may be, but the ark shook. And it looked like it was going to fall. So Uzzah put his hand down there to catch the ark, right? Remember, this is the presence, represents the presence of the Lord. So what happened?
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah.
For what?
And God smote him for his error.
For putting his hand on the ark?
Yep.
No, it's more than that. It was an error, he said. And we're going to find, as we keep going into the story, we'll find out what type of error it is. Because this is how specific God is. That's what we point out. The word of the king, what I'm showing you is whatever the man say, that's exactly what he means. Right? If he tell you, remember the Sabbath, these 7 days, that is exactly what he means. Amen. So this man made an error. Even though his heart was in the right place, he didn't want the ark of the Lord to fall to the ground, so he put his hand up there to stop it. And it said the Lord was angry with him for that. Right? What happened? So he said he did what? He smote him there for his error?
And God smote him there for his error. And there he died by the ark of God.
Error meaning you done committed a transgression or a sin. You have been lied to. The reason why you commit sin is because you don't know the scripture. Nor the power of God. Once you come under the covenant, you're not supposed to live a lifestyle where you practice sin. He said it's a shame for those things to even be named once among the saints. This man made one error. It's critical for you. Your walk is critical. You didn't know how serious it was. Once you came under the covenant, you gave your word to the man. And now you still go and live your life so reckless. You need to be aware of who you're dealing with. This man made one error. Now to us, to the naked eye looking, it seemed like a little small thing. Why would the Lord do that? The Lord loves everybody. He loves when you listen to his word more. He said obedience is better than sacrifice. Right? So this man got killed for touching the ark. Go ahead.
8. And David was displeased.
Bro, and you notice they was praising and worshiping before. So it don't matter how good your praise and worship game is if you being disobedient.
Right.
So why didn't they pray save this man from dying?
Right.
Huh? They sing with the best of them. Mississippi Mass Choir, all that type of stuff. Huh? They sing with the best of them. I'm just saying. Your praise and worship can't save you. Only thing that can save you is obeying the king's voice. Right. Go ahead.
And David was displeased because the Lord had made a breach upon Uzzah.
Right.
And he called the name of the place Perez Uzzah to this day. And David was afraid of the Lord that day.
You should have been afraid. Had you been afraid of the Lord from the get-go, that error might not have been made. Right, go ahead.
And said, how shall the ark of the Lord come to me?
Right, so how, okay. But he trying to figure out, how we going to carry it now then?
Right.
The Lord has smoked this man for touching, how we going to carry it? Go ahead.
So David would not remove the ark of the Lord unto him into the city of David.
So they left the ark, pretty much, not exactly right there, but they left the ark. They didn't bring it into the city. David was afraid at this point. So what they gonna do? You know what you do when you're afraid? Well, we ain't gonna, don't even worry about it. We'll come back, right? We're gonna come back and get it later on.
Yeah.
When we figure out what to do. But right now, you saw what happened, right? Let's take our casualties and keep rolling, right? And let's let something happen to somebody else. All right, so that's kind of what they did. Go ahead.
But David carried it aside into the house of Obed-Edom, the Gittite.
So Obed-Edom, that's probably was the closest house with their so that's probably where they left.
Right.
So in the meanwhile, look what happened. Look what the Lord did. Go ahead.
11.
Mm-hmm.
The ark of the Lord continued in the house of Obed-Edom, the Gittite, 3 months. And the Lord blessed Obed-Edom and all his household.
So you know what happened once you hear the Lord been blessing you. That's going to kind of provoke you. Okay, he's doing good now. We got something to do. Watch what David's about to do. Go ahead.
12. And it was told King David, saying, the Lord had blessed the house of Obed-Edom, and all that pertaineth unto him.
And everything that pertained to him, right? Go ahead.
Because of the ark of God.
And because the ark or the Lord's presence is there. Go ahead.
So David went and brought up the ark of God from the house of Obed-Edom into the city of David with gladness.
So that means into the city with gladness. That means he did it appropriately. With gladness. Now we're going to go and find out how they brought it now. Right? Pick me up at 1 Chronicles 15:1. 1 Chronicles 15:1. Because I guess it finally dawned on him after he seen Obed-Edom getting blessed. Probably wanted some of them blessings for himself. So he went and got it. Now we're going to read how they got it. You can pick me up at verse 1. We'll read 1 through 3 and drop down to 11. Go ahead.
And David made him houses in the city of David,
right,
and prepared a place for the ark of God, and pitched for it a tent.
Go ahead.
Then David said, none ought to carry the ark of God but the Levites.
Oh, that dawned on him. He remembered. It was already told him. No other tribe should carry the ark, only the Levites.
Right.
That's why the Lord was mad when Uzziah reached down and touched the ark. He wasn't of the tribe of Levi. The word of the king had already went forth and told him. Nobody carried the ark but the Levites.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's sad that a man had to die for him to realize that and figure it out. But that's what happened. Now he finally figured it out. He said, oh, none ought to carry the ark of God but the Levites. Go ahead.
For them had the Lord God chosen to carry the ark of God.
So those are the ones that had been chosen to do their job. Or their task. Go ahead.
And to minister unto him forever.
Yeah, forever. Go ahead.
And David gathered all Israel together to Jerusalem to bring up the ark of the Lord into his place, which he had prepared for it. That's
right. He prepared a place and he prepared the Levites and everything. Drop down to verse 11. Go ahead.
And David called for Zadok, the Abiathar the priest, and for the Levites, for Uriel, Asaiah, and Joel, Shemaiah, and Eliel, and Aminadab.
Right.
And said unto them, ye are the chief of the fathers of the Levites.
Right.
Sanctify yourselves, both ye and your brethren, that ye may bring up the ark of the Lord of God of Israel unto the place that I have prepared for it.
Now look what David going to say. Go ahead.
For because ye did it not at the first, the Lord our God made a breach upon us.
But I thought she was the one that appointed the people to carry the ark. What he let him say, if you would have did it in the first place,
right,
the Lord would have never brought that breach upon us.
Right.
In other words, the Levites knew what the right thing to do, and they didn't interrupt or try to intervene.
Right.
But you know why they didn't? David the king. Ain't no telling what this man do when we go against his authority. But yet it's still God is the king among kings. God's law is above all. So they should have interrupted him regardless. And if he would have tried to put his hand on, all they had to do was put their book on him.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So he said, if you would have did it at first, the Lord God may not have brought that breach upon us. Go ahead.
For that we saw him not after the due orders.
We didn't seek him. That's why he brought the breach. Because we didn't seek him after that proper order. That's due order. Because remember, the word of the king gives, that's power. God is so specific. You saw how specific he is.
Yeah.
The man reached down with a good heart to help. But you know what that's letting you know? There's going to be a lot of people with a lot of good intentions going to find their way in hell.
Yeah.
Why? Because you didn't obey the voice of the king. Even though you had good intentions and your heart was right, the man told you to remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. You said skip all that. With Sunday worship. You know what I'm saying? You said we're going to go because Jesus rose on Sunday. He died on Good Friday. He rose on Easter Sunday. That's a day and a half. Any way you count it.
Right.
The man said, this is the sign that I'm the Christ. I'm going to be in the grave 3 days and 3 nights. That's 72 hours. If you can't count days, you can count hours, can't you?
Yeah.
72 hours is 3 days and 3 nights. 24 hours in a day. But you know what the Sabbath is? It don't seem like much. Just like it didn't seem like much when the man reached down his hand to hold the ark to keep it from falling. See, to man it ain't much, but guess what? To God it's everything. Why? Because his word done spoke. You know what he said about his word? He said heaven and earth to pass away. But my word is going to remain forever. That's why he told you. Where the word of a king is great power. Number one thing he told you. Fear God and keep his commandments. Yeah. You got to do that above everything. Let's go a little bit further. Let's look at something else. Pick me up at Ecclesiastes 5, verse 1. You got to be careful what you say in the presence of a king. Like I said, it could be your last breath. So what we doing, we learn how to behave ourselves in the presence of a king because we don't know. We servants. We don't know how to behave in a palace. The instructions that he's been giving us, we've been overlooking. So number one, you see how powerful his word is, right? Verse 1. Ecclesiastes 5, verse 1. Hearken to the scripture.
Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools.
That's right. Sacrifice of fools is sin. He said you need to be more ready to hear. Hear what? Hear the words of the king. Right? Go. That's why we got 2 ears and 1 mouth. You need to listen twice as much as you talk. See, but Israel, we talk twice as much as we listen. We really can get away with having 2 mouths and 1 ear. Huh? That's how we act. We know everything. I know my God. I've been walking with Christ 45 years. And you still can't count 3 days and 3 nights? You telling me you've been walking with God 40 years and you don't know that the 7th day is the Sabbath? What God you been walking with? That easy guy. Kurt? Huh? What God you been walking with? Not the God of the Bible. Right? This man know what he wanted. He know how he wanted it done. And he expect the same thing from everybody. Obedience. Go ahead.
For they consider not that they do evil.
See, you don't consider that as evil. You talking all of that talking. You're not listening. You don't even consider you doing evil. Go ahead.
Be not rash with thy mouth.
Why?
And let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God.
You don't let your mouth get you in trouble. What they say, alligator mouth and a hummingbird.
Man.
Always write checks that you can't cash, you know.
Yeah.
You need to be ready to listen. He said, don't be in a hurry to utter anything before the Lord. Before you talk, you definitely need to think about what you're going to say before you say it. Go ahead.
For God is in heaven,
and
thou upon earth.
So what?
Therefore let thy words be few.
So that's what he's letting you know. Your words need to be few when you come before him. Go ahead.
For a dream cometh through the multitude of businesses, and a fool's voice is known by the multitude of thy words.
Now you know what's special about a fool? A fool say what?
There's no God.
And fool say in his heart, there is no God. That's in his mind. So that's the way he behaves. And he said, a fool is known by the multitude of his words. Always talking. Go ahead.
When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it.
Yes.
For he hath no pleasure in fools.
That's right.
Pay that which thou hast vowed.
So when you vow to vow, you make a promise on the guy, say, don't delay to pay. Pay ASAP. Go ahead.
Better is it that thou shouldest not vow, than that thou shouldest vow and not pay.
See, it's better for you that you don't even make a vow.
Right.
Versus making a vow and not paying it. Right, go ahead.
Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin.
That's what he telling you. Hummingbird mouth. All right, go ahead.
Neither say thou before the angel.
What?
That it was in error.
Wherefore
should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands?
That's right. That's what don't you know that's punishment for you? You going to work 72 hours a week. Every time you get paid, it's like you putting your money in a pocket with holes.
Man.
Everything you do is cursed.
Man.
You can't never come up. You can't never get it right. You working twice as much, you done got paid twice as much, and you still broke.
Still.
Right? That's why he telling you how to behave yourself. He said, don't make a vow and don't pay it. And don't even say it was error in the presence of the angel. He said, why? Because doing that'll make God angry with the work and destroy the work of your hands. Right? You can't none of us afford that. Number one, we got too many kids running around. We trying to feed them all. So you can't really afford for God to destroy the work of your hand. Them kids need to eat. So the best thing you can do is not be rash with our mouth, not be in a hurry to utter anything before the Lord. That's the best thing for you. And when you do, we say you need to be in a hurry to pay it, right? Matter of fact, pick me up at Exodus 22. Exodus 22. We're going to read one verse, verse 29. Exodus 22, verse 29. So whatever you offer before the Lord, hurry up and pay it. Now look, this is what he was requiring out of us too. He requires something from you. You can't just go and approach him any kind of way, and we'll see. Verse 29, go ahead.
Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits.
So this is kind of what you said when you agreed to the covenant. This part of the covenant. Once you said you agreed to the covenant, this is what you agreed to. When you offer to the Lord, you offer your first and your best. That's what he let you know. He said, thou shalt not delay to offer what?
Of thy ripe fruits and of thy liquors.
Thy ripe fruits, that's our first ripe fruits. And of thy liquors, right? Go ahead.
The firstborn of thy sons shalt thou give unto me.
What?
The firstborn of thy sons shalt thou give unto me.
Because the Lord tell you, the firstborn is holy. It's for the Lord. It's to the Lord. You're supposed to give them to him. Right? Let's look at it. Pick me up at 1 Samuel 1. 1 Samuel 1. It seems harsh, don't it? But guess what? We got witnesses. People done done it. That's why we're going to be without excuse. Everything he got written in the book, somebody done fulfilled it. So therefore, you can't come read the book and say, oh, no, well, I can't really do that. That's more than I can handle. Well, I got an example in the book. Somebody did it. Somebody that loved me did it. Right? 1 Samuel 1 and 1. Go ahead.
Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim, Zophim.
Let me apologize right now, Lord. I'm sorry for all these names. Just do your best. We'll get through it. He been having names since he started reading. I see why you didn't want to read today. But go ahead, catch me up.
Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim, Zophim, of Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Jeroham, and the son of Eliud.
Go ahead.
The son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, and Ephrathite.
Yeah, so we learned all of that just to learn this. Go ahead.
And he had two wives.
Talking about Elkanah, right? He had two wives. Go ahead.
The name of one was Hannah, and the name of the other was Peninnah.
Okay.
And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children.
So he had two wives, right? One is barren and one is not. Peninnah had children, and Hannah had no children. Go ahead.
And this man went up out of the city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priest of the Lord, were there. And when the time was that Elkanah offered, he gave to Peninnah his wife and all her sons and daughters portions.
Right.
But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion.
Why?
For he loved Hannah.
Go ahead.
But the Lord has shut up her womb.
That's right. Okay, so we got, she's barren. Hannah is barren. So let's keep rolling.
And her adversary also provoked her sore.
Her adversary is the other wife, Peninnah. Go ahead.
For to make her fret, because the Lord had shut up her womb. And as he did so year by year, when she went up to the house of the Lord, so she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat.
Right, so the lady was grieving so much she didn't even eat, and she was weeping. Go ahead.
Then said Elkanah, her husband, to her, Hannah, why weepest thou?
Why are you weeping? Go ahead.
And why eatest thou not?
Why don't you eat? Come on.
And why is thy heart grieved?
What you sad for? Come on.
Am not I better to thee than 10 sons?
Yeah, I'm better than you. The 10 sons will be to you, right? Go ahead. So the man really trying to figure it out, but evidently he don't know the beef between the two wives. So he really trying to find, she crying for? We up here praising the Lord, you know. What's going on? I'm better than her than 10 sons. Right? I just gave her a double portion. What? Go ahead.
9. So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli the priest sat upon a seat by the post of the temple of the Lord.
Go ahead.
And she was in bitterness of soul, and prayed unto the Lord and wept sore.
So let's see what's going to happen. She prayed to the Lord and she wept sore, and what happened?
And she vowed a vow and said.
So we know, remember what we just read about vowing a vow, right? Don't hesitate to pay it. It's better that you don't even make the vow.
Right.
Than you make it and don't pay it.
Right.
So now we got a real. She done vowed a vow. So basically, your word is bond. Let's see what she going to tie herself to. Go ahead.
O Lord of hosts,
what happened?
If thou wilt indeed look on the affliction of thine handmaid,
right,
and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, but will give unto thine handmaid a man child, then I will give him unto the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall no razor come upon his head.
So that's her vow. She asked Lord, if you give me a son, I'm going to give him back to you, and ain't no razor going to come upon his head.
Right.
Right, go ahead.
And it came to pass, as she continued praying before the Lord, that Eli marked her mouth. Now Hannah, she spake in her heart, only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Right. Therefore Eli thought she had been drunken.
Right, she spoke all this in her heart, he said. He said her lips moved, but no words came out. So the Lord knows. When he say he knows what's on your mind, he knows. Right, go ahead.
14. And Eli said unto her, how long wilt thou be drunken? Put away thine wine from thee.
Right, so the priest thought she was drunk because she was talking, but wasn't no words coming out. But look, this is her reply. Go ahead.
15. And Hannah answered and said, no, my Lord, I am a woman of a sorrowful spirit. Right. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord. Right. Count not thine handmaid for a daughter of Belial. Go ahead. For out of the abundance of my complaint and grief have I spoken hitherto. Right. Go ahead. Then Eli answered and said, go in peace, and go in peace, and the God of Israel grant thee thy petition that thou hast asked of him. So he said, go in peace, the God of Israel gonna grant you your petition. That is what you pray for, that son. Right. So now, since knowing that, she knows she got to pay up, right? Let's drop down a little bit. Verse 20, go ahead. Wherefore it came to pass, when the time was come about after Hannah had conceived, that she bare a son, and called his name Samuel. So the Lord fulfilled his end of the bargain, right? Go ahead. Say, what? Because I have asked him of the Lord. Go ahead. And the man called him Samuel. Go ahead. And the man of Elkanah and all his house went up to offer unto the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow. But Hannah went not up, for she said unto her husband, I will not go up until the child be weaned, and then I will bring him. What verse? We in the middle of 22. Go ahead. That he may appear before the Lord, and there abide forever. Right, so she said when she weaned him off the milk, or whatever, the breast, or whatever the case may be, she said, then I'll go and give him to the Lord. He'll be there with the Lord forever. So basically, she let you know she's going to make good on her. Drop down to verse 26. 27. Go ahead. For this child I prayed, and the Lord hath given me my petition, which I asked of him. So what? Therefore also have I lent him to the Lord. As long as he liveth, he shall be lent to the Lord, and he worshiped the Lord there. All right, so lent, that ain't how we do it. I'm alone, you didn't know. That means she gave him to him.
And how long, she say?
As long as he liveth, he shall be lent to the Lord.
That's right. So she fulfilled her end of the bargain, right?
Yep.
Well, we're going to be without excuse. That's what the Lord means. Don't be real quick to speak before me.
Right.
Be careful what you ask for, what you say. Is another example when a man, he went out to war. He said, he told the Lord, if you be with me, the Lord was already going to be with him. He said, if you be with me and give us all, turn the enemies over into my hand, he said, I'll sacrifice to you. The first thing come out my house. First thing come out the man's house was the man's daughter. That was his only child, too. But guess what? He had to do it. But he got witness in Hebrews 11, the Faith Hall of Fame. He going to be in the kingdom. He made that vow, he wept, he cried, and whatever he had to do. But he know, ultimately, I got to fulfill that vow. Because he know one thing. The king's word is power. He's going to do what he want to do. So that's what it means. Don't be in a hurry to utter anything before the Lord. He is a great king. All right? Watch what you say. Let's get some more instructions on dealing with the king. Pick me up at Proverbs, the 3rd chapter. Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3, verse 9. Hearken to the scripture.
Under the Lord with thy substance.
What's your substance? That's your goods. Mm-hmm. Your materials. Right? What did he say do with it?
Under the Lord with thy substance.
That's why we read that scripture in Exodus. It said, don't delay to offer the Lord your first. Right? Mm-hmm. Your sons, your whatever it is first. Yes, he is. He said, honor the Lord with thy substance and what else?
And with the first fruits of all thine increase.
Go ahead.
So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine.
That's right. If you do it correctly, this is what you have to look forward to. But the problem is you don't do it correctly. You look at it like, oh, God, he don't really need it. And we're going to find out, no, he don't need it. But if he requires this out of you, it's best that you perform the duty. Because the man going to tell us, I don't need nothing from you. Whatever you got, I wouldn't eat from. I own everything. If I was hungry, I wouldn't even tell you. So that he don't need it, and he wants you to know that he don't need it. But that still don't keep you make it where you don't have to do it. You still got to fulfill it. You still got to do it. Just because he don't need it, you still got to honor him. And you know what he's showing you? I'm past that lip service. I'm from the show me state. You got to show me that you respect me. Show me that you honor me. Put your substance on the line. That's because you know what? He knows that's where your heart is. Mm-hmm. Put your stuff up. I'm not with just your mouth. Right? That woman's only son, that was her stuff. That's hers. Mm-hmm. She had to give it up. Right? What verse? You finished 10?
Yeah, we just finished 10.
Let's go a little bit further. Psalms 50. Verse 7. See, we look at it like, man, the preacher, he going to do whatever he want to do with it. He going to waste, he going to go by whatever it is. The false prophet, they going to go buy Bentleys and jets and beach houses, cruise ships and islands. Right? But you got to realize, once you give it to the Lord, you giving it to the Lord. Whatever that man do, he got an answer for that. But you don't want the Lord. What good is it if the Lord punish him and you? He going to get his regard, and don't make him come get you. Right? Pick me up at verse 7. This is Psalms 50, verse 7. Go ahead.
Hear, O my people.
That's right.
And I will speak, O Israel, and I will testify against thee.
So he going to testify against his people. Go ahead.
I am God, even thy God.
Okay, even your God. I'm the God of Israel. The great king, right? Go ahead.
I will not reprove thee for thy sacrifices or thy burnt offerings, to have been continually before me.
Uh-huh.
I will take no bullock out of thy house,
right?
Nor he goats out of thy folds.
That's right. I'm not taking none of your substance. Right, go ahead.
For every beast of the forest is mine.
That's what you need to know. Everything is mine. Every beast of the forest, what else?
And the cattle upon 1,000 hills.
Uh-huh.
I know all the fowls of the mountains.
I know all the birds that dwell in the mountains. What I need your stuff for?
Right.
Huh? The stuff that you hold so tight. So near and dear. What I need that for? Go ahead.
And the wild beasts of the field are mine.
Everything. I own it. Go ahead.
If I were hungry,
I'll let you know.
I would not tell thee.
Boy, that's a shame. But he just showing you how he get down. Because he don't want you to get puffed up, thinking he needs something from you. He just require it out of you. Because he's trying to see where your heart is. But you know, we going to get that old Negro spirit. Oh, nah, I ain't giving up. The Lord don't need it. He good. He God. What do you need with my little old man? Nah, you need to give it up because it's your idol. That's the problem. Go ahead.
For the world is mine.
What's his?
The world is mine.
Where you stay at? That includes you too. Go ahead.
And the fullness thereof.
The fullness thereof, that's you. Everything in it. Go ahead.
Will I eat the flesh of bulls or drink the blood of goats?
What happened?
Offer to God thanksgiving.
This is what you can. You don't have no money, no substance to give them. You got something. Every man came here naked. We know that. Your words are so powerful. So I told you, don't be rash. Don't be in a hurry. So you don't got nothing to offer. Offer me this. What?
Offer to God thanksgiving.
See, we'll get something from the Lord. He'll bless us. We won't even tell the man thank you.
Man.
You swear you got it on your own.
Man.
You a beast. You don't need no help. You independent. Huh? Didn't nobody help you do this. Nah, this is your attitude though. Huh? But the man isn't seeing, he looking. He hearing it. You saw he read the lady's mind with her mouth moving, ain't no words coming out.
Right.
And the sad thing about it, you can trick me. But you can't trick the Lord. He know your heart.
That's right.
And he know how our heart is towards him. That's what we read now. We read our mind towards the Lord. He's unveiling it to us.
Right.
That's what you read. Go ahead.
And pay thy vows unto the Most High.
So you can do that. Can you not?
Yeah.
Regardless of how poor you are. You might not have nothing. But yet and still, you got something to offer the Lord. Because he's going to tell you, look, don't come before me empty-handed. This is a king. Can't come before him like you thought you could. Right? What verse you at?
We on 15.
Come on.
And call upon me in the day of trouble.
See, now you got access. If you're doing it correctly, now you got the man's protection. Now you can pray and he'll listen like Hannah did.
Right.
She prayed for the child. The Lord heard her. He delivered.
Right.
Right? Call upon me in the day of trouble. And what happened?
I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me.
And now can the Lord lie?
No.
They say once he deliver you, what you supposed to do?
Glorify him.
We won't even tell him thank you. Ooh, I sure appreciate it. Ooh, we won't even say that. It's a sad situation. It's ridiculous how we deal with the king, though.
Right.
That's what we point out. Our mindset towards the Lord is not good. Not even his people. Right? Let me show you the mindset of his people. Pick me up at Isaiah 43. I'm going out of order, but I can get back. The word is the word. It all circle back. I'll pick it back up somewhere else and make it make perfect sense. Isaiah 43. Let's start at verse 21. Isaiah 43 and 21. He finna run down the mindset of his people now. And remember, if you his people, this cover you too. $22. What did I say, 21? Yeah, go ahead, 21.
This people have I formed for myself.
Right, he talking about Israel, right? Go ahead.
They shall show forth my praise.
That's right, go ahead.
But thou hast not called upon me, O Jacob.
That's Israel, one and the same. He said, I formed you for myself. You haven't even called upon me, though. Go ahead.
But thou hast been weary of me, O Israel.
Right, I'm a burden to you. That's how you feel. That's what he letting us know, how we treat him.
Wow.
The Lord is a burden to us. Go ahead.
Thou hast not brought me the small cattle of thy burnt offerings.
So remember, he told you, honor him with thy substance. If this wasn't a problem, why is he even talking about it?
Right.
Right, but go ahead.
Neither hast thou honored me with thy sacrifices.
You have, see? Go ahead.
I have not caused thee to serve with an offering, nor wearied thee with incense.
Right, I mean, I didn't even really cause you to do all this. So you have to do that because you commit so much sin in order to keep me from killing you. You had to sacrifice animals. Right, but go ahead.
Thou hast bought me no sweet cane with money.
With what?
With money.
You ain't bought me nothing. You ain't bought me no sweet cane. You know, you don't, the small cattle, none of it. You don't honor me with our sacrifices. Right? You don't, nothing. Go ahead.
Neither hast thou filled me with the fat of thy sacrifices.
Right, the fat of the sacrifices is for the Lord. That was his portion. That's for the Lord. You ain't even did that. Go ahead.
But thou hast made me to serve with thy sins. Thou hast wearied me with thine iniquities.
What you mean you made him serve? That means because of you, he had to come down here and take on the body of a servant, a man. And he had to die on the cross for your sins, right. And yet and still you don't honor me. So to me, how you handle me is you just give me. You don't return, you don't give me nothing in return. And let me show you what he called that type of people. Pick him up in Proverbs 30. All this time we thought the Lord was cool with our attitude toward him. This man got a major problem with it. You can pick me up at verse 10. Proverbs 30 and 10. Go ahead.
Accuse not a servant unto his master, lest he curse thee, and thou be found guilty.
Go ahead.
There is a generation that curses their father and does not bless their mother.
So this generation he talking about, this generation covers every generation ever to be born on this earth. It happened way back in Noah, Adam days, happening in David them days, Moses days. It's happening right now in our days. It happened in Jesus' time. It's happening right now. So go ahead and read.
There's a generation that are pure in their own eyes.
That's us. Come on.
And yet is not washed from their filthiness.
Still sinning. Sin still upon you. Go ahead.
There's a generation, oh how lofty are their eyes.
Proud.
And their eyelids are lifted up.
Boastful. Go ahead.
There's a generation whose teeth are as swords.
Yeah, you know that's us.
Yep.
You got 2-year-olds coming out the womb
hard,
saying cuss words and you know, every kind of old foul thing that you can say. Conversation ain't holy at all. Don't know nothing about being holy. Coming out the womb like that. 2-year-olds coming out the womb talking they're homosexual. All kind of stuff. Foolishness.
Yep.
Foul mouth. All right, go ahead.
And their jaw, teeth as knives. To devour the poor from off the earth and the needy from among men.
Go ahead.
The horse leech had 2 daughters, crying.
This how the Lord look at us.
Give.
You know what a horse leech is? That's a leech. You're a bloodsucker. Only thing you want me for is so I can give you. That's why I say you cry, give. You're a horse leech to the Lord.
Man.
You don't bring me no sweet cane that you buy with your money. You don't give me the fat of the sacrifice. You don't even say thank you. Man. Only thing you do is suck blood dry. The man had to come and spill his blood for you. Only thing you do is suck them dry.
Wow.
Holla, give. You know how it is with your kids. They come down and say, "How mom and dad?" You know, the only thing they want, give me.
Yeah.
Then once you give it to them, they gone out of your sight faster than they came. That's how we are to the Lord.
Yeah.
He said, "You a horse leech." And he said, 2 daughters. That covered both. That covered the whole house of Israel. He said, 2 daughters crying, give. Go ahead.
There are 3 things that are never satisfied. Yeah, 4 things say not. It is enough.
That's right. And you can't never get enough. You'll never be satisfied. Only time you call on the Lord is when you want something from him. He say, you know what? My people done forgot me days without number. And we expect the Lord to deliver us and be there for us like we've been dealing with him correctly every day.
Right.
What he letting you know, your actions towards me been foul. You don't even show me the respect that you show your governors. And I'm a king above it. I give them their seat.
Right.
I'm a king above them. Right? Let's pick me up at Psalms, matter of fact, yeah, you can go Psalms 111. Psalm 111, you can pick me up at verse 1, then drop down to 9. So we're going to learn what to do. We're going to get ourselves out of this situation with the Lord. Because the man let you know, I see you. He letting all of us know, I see your attitude towards me. I wrote it down. You know why he wrote it down? So that you can see it. So that you can turn the mirror on yourself and realize, maybe I am kind of like this. To give you an opportunity to do something about it before it's too late.
Right.
Verse 1, go ahead.
Praise ye the Lord.
He always saying that, don't he?
Yep.
We won't even do that. Huh?
Easy.
We won't do it.
Easy.
Stubborn and rebellious. Just won't do it. Go ahead.
I will praise the Lord with my whole heart in the assembly of the upright and in the congregation.
Go ahead. Drop down to verse 9. Come on.
He said,
just start running down some of his wonderful works. Go ahead.
He sent redemption unto his people.
This is something what he does. Ain't that what he did? Redemption. He saved.
Yep.
Unto his people. What else?
He hath commanded his covenant forever.
See, that's what people don't realize. Covenant is good forever. God's covenant, you know what the covenant consists of? The law, statutes, and commandments of God, even the 10 commandments. What the church don't realize is once you break the commandments, you have just broken the covenant. Once you break, you're not under it no more at that time. You're not under it. Part of the covenant was for only the Levites to carry the ark. Once Uzziah broke the covenant, he wasn't under it. The Lord punished him for that. His protection went away. You only get the protection from the Lord once you within the covenant. Once you outside of the whatever happened to you, that's what happened to you. You out there on your own, you naked, whatever the world find you and do to you, that you hid. That's on you. Because you outside of the covenant at that point. Go ahead.
Holy and reverend is his name.
Who is what?
Holy and reverend is his name.
Holy and reverend is his name. There's no reason to call any pastor reverend. He didn't say holy and reverend is my name and all my servants, my pastors or my teachers. Reverence is his name. That's showing honor. We supposed to honor him and show him the proper respect. Not so-called Reverend James, who guess what he can't do? Count 3 days and 3 nights. I'm just saying, man can't get the Sabbath right. He can't count 7 days. But he sounds like a genius, though. You give him a microphone, man, he sounds intelligent. I know he know what he's talking about. Okay, well, just ask him to add up 3 days and 3 nights. Right? We got to be more careful. God gonna deal with us. So he said, holy and reverend is his name. Nobody else's. What else?
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
And that's why we don't understand God, because we don't fear him. Once you start to fear him, that's the beginning of your wisdom. Now you start to learn who he is. Guess who he is? The man who drowned the whole world and saved 8 people. That's him. That's what the king do. That's why I told you. Watch what I say. It could be your last day when you go before the king.
Right.
You never know. The man said he got your breath in his hand. You never know. He said, fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And what else?
A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever.
I mean, so, I don't know. I just don't get how we ever let a man teach us the laws is nailed to the cross. On every page of the Bible, even when we ain't looking for the commandments the man tells us to keep them, we going and we trying to read a story about Adam and Eve and the commandments pop up. Huh? You can't get away from them. That's what he let you know. No matter where you go, they there. You will never be able to, his commandments will never be done away with. Go ahead, finish that.
We just did.
Oh, you did? Okay, so he said, a good understanding have all they to keep his commandments. His praise endures forever. Let's roll a little bit further. Deuteronomy 16 and 16. This dealing with the feast, but yet and still he letting you know how to handle them. Verse 16, Deuteronomy 16, verse 16. Go ahead.
3 times in a year shall all the males appear before the Lord thy God in a place which he shall choose.
Like what?
In the feast of unleavened bread.
See, this is a shame though. Because we say we serve God and we don't know this. We don't know nothing about the feast of unleavened bread. You know what we know about? Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Halloween, Valentine's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, fathers and mothers. That's what we know about. But show me when God gave you that. What page of the Bible is it on? Because this right here, this on page 294. Deuteronomy 16 child. I'm just telling you, what page is on your Bible?
305.
Be pretty close. I'm just saying. The man ain't telling you nothing about Christmas and Easter and New Year. He's telling you 3 times in a year shall all males appear in the place which he shall choose. In the feast of unleavened bread.
And in the feast of weeks. And in the feast of tabernacles.
So once you appear before the Lord, look how you got to come. Come on and read.
And they shall not appear before the Lord empty.
What's the problem? You don't appear before the man empty. What part of that you don't get? Because you're going to come to his feast and look how we do. You think the feast is for you. You come to the feast, you don't bring nothing, you eat up everything. Right? This common in Israel. We all done witnessed this.
Yeah.
You done disobeyed what he told you, which is don't come before me empty. On top of that, you talking about everybody, you eating up all the food, drinking all the Kool-Aid, drinking all the wine, eating up all the snacks, right? You think the feast is for you. Now everybody in the corner talking about it. Only time we see him is when he comes to the feast. 3 times a year. The only time the boy came to now Sabbath. I'm surprised he knew when the feast was. I'm just saying, right? I'm surprised. You a feast trapper. So in Israel we got sun and moon trappers. We got feast trappers, right? What else we got? We're gonna find something else in a minute. Israel is crazy. You know what I'm saying? We gotta learn how to do this man right, better than what we've been doing. Right? We got feast trappers. Go ahead and finish that.
Every man shall give as he is able.
So we know you able. He said every man shall give as he is able, right? If it ain't the bare minimum, that's what you can do. That's how he done bless you. Right. That's what he excel. I'm going to show you that. Go ahead.
According to the blessing of the Lord thy God, which he had given thee.
That's right. So you give as he has blessed you, right? Pick me up at Luke 21. What are you talking about right here? Luke 21. Luke 21, verse 1. Try to get out my scriptures in. I'm all out of order, but it's coming together better. Luke 21, verse 1. Harken to the scripture.
And he looked up and saw the rich man casting their gifts into the treasury.
So it's Jesus, right? And then you got everybody coming, bringing their gifts to the treasury, right? Mm-hmm. So you got the rich man, and they come and they cast their gifts in. Go ahead.
And he saw also a certain poor widow casting in thither 2 mites.
Right, so we got this certain poor widow. She cast her gift in too. Her gift was only 2 mites, which wasn't much at all to the naked eye. But go ahead.
And he said,
what happened?
Of a truth I say unto you,
what you say?
That this poor widow hath cast in more than ye all.
What you mean they rich? How is that? He finna tell you. Go ahead.
For all these have of their abundance cast in unto the offerings of God.
All right, so all these rich men, they cast into their abundance, whatever, it's no sweat.
Right.
Well, look how she gave. Her mindset is different toward the king. Look how she gave. Go ahead.
But she of her penury have cast in all the living that she had.
You know what penury is? That's extreme poverty. That makes it different now, don't it? Extreme poverty. That's what penury is. Mm-hmm. So this woman, out of all the extreme poverty, her condition is real bad. She have cast in all what?
that she had.
That's why she gave more. Hers counted for more. Not that it was more in monetary value, but her mindset and her attitude towards the Lord proves to you and show you that. Show him that that's more than what they gave. It cost her something. It didn't cost him nothing.
Right.
So he know you ain't. You give according to how he has blessed you. Right? That woman got a testimony in the Bible. That's more than money. This testimony, everybody in the world almost know about this. Who can buy that? What page of the Bible if you was on the page of the Bible, if you could buy it, what page would you be on? Can't buy it. That's why he can't answer. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Dumbfounded.
Yeah. I was just showing you money ain't everything though. But this is showing you this is worth more than money. Her testimony from the Lord is worth more than money. Money can't even buy that. So you can't come to the Lord and give just any old little thing. He already told you how to handle it. Give him your best. That's what he accepts. He have a problem with it when you don't. Pick him up at Malachi 1, verse 6. And he already let you know, do I need your money? Do I need your substance? No, I don't. But yet still, I'm requiring it from you. Because I need to make sure you don't love nothing more than you love me. Malachi 1 verse 6. Go ahead.
A son honoreth his father, and a servant his master.
And they do. Go ahead.
If then I be a father, where is mine honor?
Right. The Lord, he always asking us questions. Because he know we don't deal with him right. He said, if I be a father, where is my honor? Go ahead.
And if I be a master, where is my fear?
Right.
Saith the Lord of hosts unto you, O priests, that despise my name.
Yes.
And ye say, wherein have we despised thy name?
That's right. Our attitude is always bad towards the Lord. We ain't did. He tell us what we do wrong, and we still had to ask, man, I ain't did nothing. What have I done?
Right.
That's what he let you know. Go ahead.
Ye offer polluted bread upon mine altar.
So he come right back and tell you exactly what you did. When you make your offering to me, you don't give me your best. You offer me polluted bread.
Right.
What you offer up to the Lord is supposed to be perfect, without spot and blemish.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And ye say, wherein have we polluted thee?
So you offer polluted bread, and then you turn right around and say, how have we polluted it? Go ahead.
And that ye say the table of the Lord is contemptible.
So in that, your actions is telling the Lord, you saying his table is contemptible.
Wow. I
could just do whatever. Give him what it is, accept whatever. He take anything. But he letting you know right here he don't. Go ahead.
And if ye offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil?
Indeed it is. Because he said his sacrifice is supposed to be perfect. He already told you don't offer no blind, no lame, nothing. Perfect. Go ahead.
And if ye offer the lame and sick, is it not evil?
It is. Go ahead.
Offer it now unto thy governor.
You said, so if you don't believe, you offer that to your governor and do what?
Will he be pleased with thee?
And see if he'll be pleased with you. Go ahead.
Or accept thy person?
And you see if he'll accept you.
Said the Lord of hosts.
Right, so you offering garbage to me that you wouldn't even offer to your governor or your leader.
Right.
But you want to come and bring me that garbage. Right, go ahead.
9. And now I pray you, beseech God that he will be gracious unto us. This hath been by your means. When he regard your persons, saith the Lord of hosts. Who is there even among you that will shut the doors for naught? Neither do ye kindle fire on mine altar for naught. I have no pleasure in you, saith the Lord of hosts.
So you're going to take my offering? Go ahead.
Neither will I accept an offering at your hand.
Can't come to him as your own. He don't accept any old thing.
That's powerful.
Has to be according to the word that he already has given us. Don't offer him nothing polluted. You might as well keep it. If it ain't your first and your best, you might well keep it. Because what he say? He said he accepted.
Neither will I accept an offering at your hand.
Don't give that to me. I don't want that. Pick him up at Genesis 4. That's way back then, but he been telling us the same thing. He been telling us. See, but we look for any old way out. We just don't really want to give up nothing. That's why we go and blame the preacher. Oh, he the only thing you're going to do with it. Well, whatever. You're not giving it to him. You're giving it to the Lord. Mm-hmm. Whatever he do with it, he going to have to answer for that.
That's right.
If you don't, you going to have to answer for that. Verse 1, go ahead.
And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord.
Go ahead.
And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of the sheep.
Right.
But Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord.
Right.
And Abel, he also brought of the firstling of his flock and the fat thereof.
Right. And
the Lord had respect
unto Abel brought what you say?
Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of the flock of the fat and the fat thereof.
That's his first. That's his best.
Yes, sir.
That's what Abel brought. But you know that it didn't say that about Cain's offering.
Right.
Just brought whatever.
Right.
So what happened?
And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
The Lord had respect to Abel offering.
But unto Cain and to his offering, he had not respect.
And I want you to notice that these children are offering to the Lord even before there's a Levitical priesthood.
That's right.
So the offering ain't never been to the priest. I always say giving it to the Lord. You just use the priest to do it.
Right.
The man of God. Back in the day, that's how they did. They gave when they wanted to inquire of God. Guess what they did? They went and found a man of God, and they didn't come empty-handed. They offered a gift. I'm gonna show even some people that's not even God's people, even strangers, they offer gifts. And yes, we don't even know to do that. We come to the King like, oh, you owe me. I'm coming to you on purpose. That's how we come to him. If it wasn't true, he wouldn't let me say it. Okay, he made it, but if I put my own spin on it, but I ain't trying to do that. So let's get back to the book before we go left. Go ahead.
Top of 5 again.
Yes.
But unto Cain and to his offering, he had not respect.
That's right.
And Cain was very wroth.
Cain mad, but you should have been mad at yourself.
That's right.
See, a lot of us got that Cain spirit. Lord don't answer your prayer, you mad. Well, how you come to him? What would your attitude look like? What's your countenance look like?
Right.
Did you say thank you, please?
Right.
Any of that? Huh? How was your mannerism? Did you bring him an offering or a gift? Did you even think to do that?
Would you keep the commandments?
Definitely. If you ain't keeping the commandment, ain't no need. Was you keeping the commandments? Do you have respect to his word? Oh.
Killer.
Or do you say, well, I don't really think that is that big of a deal. But go ahead and read.
And his countenance fell.
Yeah, that's his facial expression. He had followed me. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Cain,
what?
Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen?
Right, because the Lord can see. He see your facial expression. He know you don't really want to be here.
Yeah.
Just saying. He know what's in your heart. What you mad for? Why your countenance fall? Go ahead.
If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted?
That's the thing. That's what he been telling us over and over again. If you do well, what?
Shalt thou not be accepted?
I ain't gonna not accept you.
Right.
The problem is we don't do well, but we want the Lord to do well for us.
Right.
Go ahead.
And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
He was just waiting on you.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
But I'm the reason he did that because his own works wasn't right.
Right.
Instead of slaying him, why won't you go back and try to offer a better to the Lord so you can be accepted?
Yep.
Now that's too much like right. Instead, I'm going to get rid of the righteous one. Yeah. Therefore, my works are going to stand alone.
Yeah.
But the Lord see everything. The man got punished for that. He got a mark set up on him. Right? He didn't get away. He just skated by just a little bit. The Lord dealt with him, though. But you see, you can't bring the Lord any other thing.
Right.
Because believe it or not, he is the king of the world. And he going to show you that in the flesh. Just give him time. He said, all eyes going to see. Every lip is going to confess. You will know. But he let you know. Let me show you.
Stranger.
Huh?
The stranger.
Now, let's go look at Solomon right quick. Pick me up at 1 Kings 10. But this story, this is about Solomon, but we're going to find out something. The Lord blessed Solomon with a whole lot of wisdom. He was the wisest man and the richest man that the earth will ever see among men. But we're going to find out how the people came to Solomon. Right? Let's see how they dealt with Solomon. Because we're going to find out. Everybody came to Solomon. All the kings of other nations came to Solomon. Right? But this is just a microcosm. Solomon is a microcosm of how the Lord is going to be. Everybody going to come to the Lord too. But flick me up at verse 1. Go ahead.
And when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, she came to prove him with hard questions.
That's right. Go ahead.
And she came to Jerusalem with a very great train, with camels that bear spices and very much gold and precious stones.
I wonder what she got that stuff for. Go ahead.
And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart.
All right, commune, that's being communicated, right? Since she wanted to know everything, she communed with Solomon of everything that was in her heart. And what Solomon do?
And Solomon told her all her questions.
So Solomon answered all her questions. Go ahead.
There was not anything hid from the king which he told her not.
Right.
And when the queen of Sheba had seen all Solomon's wisdom and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table,
right,
and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and his ascent by which he went up to the house of the Lord,
right,
there was no more spirit in her.
That's right. She no more breath in her. What she say?
And she said to the king,
what?
It was a true report that I heard in mine own land of thy acts and of thy wisdom.
She said, it was everything I heard about you was true. She just had, it was so great, she had to come see it for herself.
Right.
And drop down to verse 10.
And she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and of spices very great store, and precious stones. There came no more such abundance of spices as these which the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon.
So did she leave empty-handed? She coming to inquire from Solomon about the Lord's will. She coming to see how much wisdom that he had. So she want to know something from Solomon. Guess what she did? She brought something. She brought a gift. She didn't come before the king empty-handed. And look, let's see what else. Keep going.
11. And the navy also of Hiram, that brought gold from Ophir, brought in from Ophir great plenty of almug trees and precious stones.
Drop down to verse 14. Go ahead.
Now the weight of the gold that came of Solomon in 1 year was 606 talents of gold.
Go ahead.
Beside that he had of the merchantmen, and of the traffic of the spice merchants, and of all kings of Arabia, and of the governors of the country. And King Solomon made 200 targets of beaten gold. 600 shekels of gold went to one target. And he made 300 shields of beaten gold. 3 pounds of gold went to one shield. And the king put them in the house of the forest of Lebanon.
When you finish that verse, drop down to 23.
So, 23.
Yeah.
So King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth, riches and for wisdom.
Go ahead.
And now the earth sought to Solomon to hear his wisdom, which God had put in his heart.
I mean, everybody came to Solomon. He had more wisdom and more riches than everybody. Everybody came to him. Go ahead.
25. And they brought every man his present.
What?
And they brought every man his present.
Did they come before the king empty?
And no.
They want something from the king, so guess what they did?
Get some in exchange.
They didn't come empty. They offered up something. He said, who brought it? Some over, you say?
And they brought every man his present.
Go ahead.
Vessels of silver, and vessels of gold, and garments, and armor, and spices, horses, and mules, a rate year by year.
Certain rate, year by year. Go ahead.
And Solomon gathered together chariots and horsemen.
No, that's good. Pick me up at Matthew 12, verse 42. We're reading that story to say this. Matthew 12, verse 42. Matthew 12, verse 42. This is Jesus speaking. Go ahead.
The queen of the south shall rise up in judgment with this generation, and shall condemn it. For she came from the uttermost parts of the earth to hear the wisdom of Solomon.
So we know who that was, right? We just finished reading about that. Right? So she came to hear Solomon's wisdom.
Right.
Well, look at the key right here.
And behold, a greater than Solomon is here.
A greater than Solomon is here. How you going to be greater than Solomon? You got to be the king of kings. Mm-hmm. That's what he let you know. You saw how the whole earth treated Solomon.
Right.
They brought gold and silver and spices. Every man brought his present. And now you know what he told you? What? Somebody greater than Solomon is here now. You can't drop the standard.
Right.
You already saw how they handled Solomon. Now he let you know somebody that's greater than Solomon is here. This is what we come before now. A lot of times, you praying, you inquiring of the Lord. Seems like you've been doing it 77 weeks with no answer. Not once have you ever thought, well, how did I come to this man?
Wow.
Is he the king of kings or what? Did I come in an honorable way? Did I say thank you? Did I bring something? You didn't even think about that. That's why I titled it, Show Reverence to the King. He just told us out his own mouth. A greater than Solomon is here. And he told him, you give as you've been blessed. Mm-hmm. Not that I need nothing from you, because if I was hungry, I wouldn't take nothing from you.
Right.
I own everything. But I'm still not letting you off the hook, because I know where your heart is. Honor the Lord with thy substance. Come before the King with something, not empty-handed. Matthew 5 and 23. Matthew 5. And you can't just offer anything. You saw how you have to offer. That lady gave her best. That's why she got that testimony. He told you offer your firstlings, your best. Abel got the same testimony. Because what they say about Abel is the reason why they can offer like that, because they had faith in the Lord. Mm-hmm. That's what it said in Hebrews 11 about Abel. Because he had faith, he offered a more perfect sacrifice. Matthew 5 and 23. Matthew 5, verse 23. Something we overlook. Go ahead.
Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there remembers that thy brother had aught against thee.
Hold on, if you bring what?
If you bring thy gift to the altar.
Oh, they still doing it. We might not have paid attention to that. If you bring your gift to the altar, now we always go here and look at the portion where he say, you remember your brother have an ought against you, okay, you got to go and fix it, reconcile the situation. Mm-hmm. But we always bypass this part. Go ahead, read that again.
Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there remembers that thy brothers hath an ought against thee.
Take it back. Don't worry about it.
Leave there thy gift before the altar.
Yeah, leave that gift there. Leave that gift there. You coming before the King, you making that offering. You remember, but you can't, like I said, you can't come any kind of way. You come into him, you made your offering, that's good. But now you remember your brother have a problem with you. Now you got to go reconcile that situation. But before you go, hold on. Leave that gift right here. Leave that gift right here on the altar, though.
Yeah.
Don't take that nowhere. Leave that there. Go reconcile that and come back. Go ahead.
First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift.
Who talking right here? Greater than Solomon?
It's the Messiah.
That's right. The same one that told you. A greater than Solomon is here. Right? Let's pick me up at Matthew 2, verse 1. Matthew 2 and 1. We've been had this Bible. It's the same one we've been reading. Matthew 2, verse 1.
Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea.
Who we talking about? Jesus, right? What happened?
In the days of Herod the king,
yes,
behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem.
So these, remember, the point about the story, these are wise men. They done traveled on their journey from the east. They coming to Jerusalem for what?
Saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews?
Who they looking for?
King of the Jews.
Right, go ahead. For
we have seen his star in the east and come to worship him.
The man told you, I'm the bright morning star, the root and the offspring of David. They knew that. The star was the sun. That's how they tracked him down. Go ahead.
When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him.
Right, because he said he was king of the Jews at that point. But the one that's being born, this is the real king. It's king above all the kings, right? Go ahead.
4. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together,
yes,
he demanded of them where Christ should be born.
Right.
And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea.
Come on.
For thus it is written by the prophet.
That's why it had to happen. The prophets wrote about it. That's what Jesus was fulfilling. Everything that the prophets wrote about him to let us know that he was the Christ, that's what he fulfilled. All right, that's what he means. What verse you is? 5, drop down to 8. Go ahead.
And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child. And when ye have found him, bring me word again that I may come and worship him also.
Right, that's what Herod told the wise men. Go ahead.
When they had heard the king, they departed.
Right.
And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them till he came and stood over where the young child was.
And what happened?
When they saw the star, they rejoiced.
When they saw the child.
When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were coming to the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother.
Right, so that child, that's Jesus, right? They saw him, and what happened?
And fell down and worshipped him.
And what else did they do?
And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Greater than Solomon right there. Now, you know why they did that? They wise men. They know better. So what they do? Open their treasures.
Right.
Gave him gifts. Why? King of the Jews. Huh?
Yep.
Salvation come by the Jews. This the King of Kings. Can't come before him empty.
Okay.
Huh? King of the whole world. It matters how you approach the Lord. You come and you ask, you asking Lord for big stuff too. You asking for $70,000 jobs and Mercedes business, and all kind of stuff, private school for the kids, right? You want your husband to finally get to work, huh? But what you bring? You ask it, give me, horse leech. What you bring with you? Not even a thank you. So you know what? I see you. This is what I want you to do. You go, you get your mind right, come back and leave that gift. At least you can do. You don't have nothing. Say what he tell you. Say thank you. Offer to the Lord's thanksgiving. Praise the Lord.
Right.
You don't even do that. You come before the Lord and your attitude is snobby. You in a hurry to get about the presence of the Lord. The Lord is exactly what he said, a burden to you. But you want everything from him. Now tell me how that's going to work. You don't even do your kids like that. If they come to you incorrectly, guess what you're going to give them? Nothing. Well, I don't know. We new school parents now. We just give in. Kids ain't got no standards no more to live up to. But we got to watch how we come to the Lord. Because remember, you don't want to offend the king. This is a great king. Let me show you how much respect you're supposed to show him. Pick me up at Esther, the 4th chapter. Now this ain't no Israelite king we're gonna read about, but yet and still, it's good. He's still a king. The Lord still uses him to show you how you're supposed to deal with a king. We're going to read one verse in this 4th chapter. We're going to skate to chapter 5. We're going to read verse 11. And this is what we're going to read about is King Ahasuerus. He was up. Give me a minute. Test. Okay, this is King Ahasuerus we're going to read about. Right, well, verse 11. Chapter 4, verse 11. Hearken to the scripture.
All the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come unto the king into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death.
So this man ruled over 127 provinces of country. And they said all the king's servants and everybody know. This is what they know. He said, no matter if it's man or woman, if any man come into the inner court of the king and you not called, and they said there's only one law. He said they got to put him to death. Right, go ahead.
Except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter.
So, only people that can come is the one that the king holds out their golden scepter. That's like a rod or a staff. And it's a symbol of authority. Kingship. And this man's is golden. And he got to hold it out to show you that you've been approved to approach the king. If he don't hold it out and you come in to him without him acknowledging you in that way, it's dead, no matter man or woman. That's what he let you know. And he said, everybody knows that. All right, so go ahead.
That he may live. But I have not been called to come in unto the king these 30 days.
Right, they said it's only one law. So everybody knew that. No matter if it's man or woman. Drop down into the 5th chapter and pick it up at verse 1.
Now it came to pass on the 3rd day that Esther put on her royal apparel.
Right, now Esther, that's the king's wife at this point. Go ahead. She put on her royal clothes, and then what happened?
And stood in the inner court of the king's house.
And what happened?
Over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house. Over against the gate of the house.
Right.
And it was so.
What?
When the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight.
So what did he do?
And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter.
Right. Even though she was his wife, she couldn't come before him without him doing that. He had to acknowledge. He had to let her know it's okay for you to come. He had to hold that. And that scepter was a symbol of authority and rulership. You know why it's important for us? Because the Lord told you. He said that scepter should not depart from Judah.
Right.
So what we learn here is how to respect the king. How to pay homage.
That's real.
We don't know that. We can't even respect each other. So this is the man's wife, though. And he got that golden staff. And he holds it out. He's sitting on the throne. She's standing around her somewhere. She ain't making not a foot, she ain't take a step closer. Because she know this could be my last step. If he wouldn't have held out that rock, she'd have still been standing to this day. Okay, she would have tapped out by now, but we just saying. So we had to do that. But we just learning how to approach the king. Pick him up at Genesis 49. This is why we learning that. Like I said, that's a symbol. verse 10. So we read these stories about these other kings, but in all actuality, the Lord is showing us how to deal with that ultimate, how to show proper respect to that ultimate king, which is himself. Picking up at verse 10, hearken to the scripture. This now Jacob, he was blessing all 12 of his sons. And this is what he said about Judah. Verse 10.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
That's the kingship, the royal authority. It's not going to depart from Judah. Judah is going to be king all the time. That's why Jesus came through the lineage of Judah. Because he's going to be king of all the world. They ain't never going to leave his kingship. His kingdom is going to be an everlasting kingdom. Right? We got scripture to prove that. But his kingdom is going to be forever. So we said the scepter. And remember, he tell you, you know what's funny? Because that scepter is a rod or a staff. And he said he's going to rule the people with an iron staff. A rod of iron. That's what it is. Try to come before him without him holding it out. See how far you get. He demands respect. That's what I'm telling you. We going out reading all this stuff, and I'm saying all this, but it's the underlying message is he demands proper respect. Reverence. Go ahead.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah.
That's right.
Nor a lawgiver from between his feet.
So he's going to be the king and the lawgiver. Right? Come on.
Until Shiloh comes.
That's right. What verse? That's good. We'll skate on up out of that. Pick me up at Leviticus 16. Leviticus 16. Remember now, if Esther would have came before the king, without him acknowledging him, guess what? She would have died. And this to show you that the Lord is the same thing. Even his priest can't come before him in certain situations unless he tell you. Verse 1. Leviticus 16:1. Hearken to the scripture.
And the Lord spake unto Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they offered before the Lord and died.
See, they offered strange fire though. If it didn't matter, if you could do what you want, the Lord wouldn't have killed them. But just like us are, once you get outside, fight come with that. Go ahead.
2.
Yes.
And the Lord said unto Moses,
what you want me to say?
Speak unto Aaron thy brother, that he come not at all times into the holy place within the veil before the mercy seat.
Right. Remember the mercy seat. That's where God's presence is. Mm-hmm. In the tabernacle, in the tent, he had a veil. Behind the veil was the mercy seat. Everything inside the tabernacle was golden. He had a veil. Behind that veil, you had the Ark of the Covenant, which represented his presence. Now what he's telling Moses to tell Aaron is, tell Aaron, do not come behind that veil every day. In other words, don't come in my presence every day. For what reason?
Within the veil before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark.
Yes.
That he die not.
That he what?
That he die not.
So we got one law. It's the king. You can't come as well. Not even the priest. So he demands that proper respect. His high priest can't even come in his presence every day. You come when he tell you to. He said that you die not. Go ahead.
For I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat.
So you see where he said, that means him say he's going to appear in the cloud upon that mercy seat. That's his presence. That means he's sitting there. Go ahead.
Thus shall Aaron come into the holy place with a young bullock for a sin offering.
Now he can't even come once he do be allowed without offering. For what?
A young bullock for a sin offering.
Man, still offering up stuff. He got to offer a sin offering before he can even come within. Go ahead.
And a ram for a burnt offering.
And on top of the sin offering, a ram for a burnt offering. Go ahead.
He shall put on the holy linen coat.
And he got to put on holy garments. Go ahead.
And he shall have the linen breeches upon his flesh. And shall be girded with the linen girdle. Right. And with the linen mitre shall he be attired.
Yes.
These are holy garments.
Okay.
Therefore shall he wash his flesh in water and sew them on. Okay. And so put them on.
So let's go into Exodus 30 chapter, picking up at verse 10. We're going to see why he had to wash. How important that was. But remember, every word of the king is important. Exodus 30 and 10. And then we'll drop down to verse 18. Hearken to the scripture.
And Aaron shall make an atonement upon the horns of it once in a year with the blood of the sin offering of atonements. Once in a year shall he make atonement upon it throughout your generations. It is most holy unto the Lord.
And that was the only day that he can go behind the veil in the presence of the Lord. He had to make that atonement once a year on the day of atonement. Drop down to verse 18.
Thou shalt also make a laver of brass, and its foot also of brass to wash withal.
So a laver is like something like a pool or a basin or cistern, what you put water in, right? And this is the reason. Go ahead.
And thou shalt put it between the tabernacle of the congregation and the altar, and thou shalt put water therein.
Go ahead.
For Aaron and his sons shall wash their hands and their feet thereat.
That's right. Once they get to approach the laver, you got to wash your hands and feet before you can even go into the tabernacle. Go ahead. 20.
When they go into the tabernacle of the congregation, they shall wash with water, that they die not.
Why they got to do it?
That they die not.
That's right. That's why he was telling me, you wash and then you put on those holy garments. Go ahead.
Or when they come near to the altar to minister to burn offering made by fire unto the Lord. So they shall wash their hands and their feet, that they die not.
That's right. Go ahead.
And it shall be a statute forever to them, even to him and to his seed throughout their generations.
So they got to clean themselves up before they can even come and do any of the Lord's business. Just like you. You got to clean yourself up. If you're a murderer, you got to stop killing. If you're a Sabbath breaker, you got to start keeping the Sabbath. If you're an adulterer, you got to stop committing adultery. What you're doing at this point is cleaning yourself up with the word. You washing yourself from that filth. And then you can come before the king. And once you do that, you're telling the Lord that you agree to keep all his laws, statutes, and commandments. Once you do that, then you can approach the king. Now you learn in some ways how to approach him correctly. You got to respect the man. We, truth be told, we haven't been respecting him. We've been coming to him as we are. We just know the truth. But we still been coming to him with that same old watered down mentality. That's not what he command you to do. That's not what he required of you. And when you approach him, you give your best. When you do the service of the Lord, whether it's reading, singing, kids class, out in the street evangelizing and talking to anybody in the world about the Lord, you do your best. It don't matter if they take it or not, you do your best. Just because you talk about it, the Lord still have to accept your words.
Right.
But if you don't have proper respect for God, there's nothing to hold you. No standard to hold you to you. And when we, as people, don't have a standard, we're going to drop the ball. It's automatic. So you got to come to the Lord with respect. That's the whole point. Proper respect, reverence, right? Because you do it to kings and presidents. You did it to every president except Trump. I'm just saying. If he walked here, I wouldn't respect him now. But any of the presidents before him, if they came here right now, you probably show them proper respect. And the Lord is letting you know I'm above them. I demand way better treatment than you showed him. And when he's letting us know our transgressions, we've been offering him things that we wouldn't even offer to them. Like he's supposed to accept. But he's letting you know, I don't. And if you can't do no better than that, keep what you got and go on about your business. And that's what he's letting us know. Because he's not forcing us to do nothing. We should want to do it just because we know he is the king and he do so much for us. We should have a will and we should want to do it. Right, let me show. Pick me up at 1 Samuel chapter 5. We only got a couple more and we out. 1 Samuel 5. Verse 1. First Samuel 5 and 1. Hearken to the scripture.
And the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it from Ebenezer to Ashdod.
Okay, so the Philistines, that's Israel's enemies, right? They constantly fighting it's constantly fighting war between the Philistines and Israel. So I guess they overcame Israel, and what they did, they took the ark of God and they brought it to one of their spots. Go ahead.
When the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon.
So Dagon is the god of the Philistines. So they're going to take the ark of the Lord, which represents his presence, and they're going to bring it into their God's house, which is called Dagon. Dagon is a fish god. That little old fish symbol you see on everybody's car that got Jesus in it, that got nothing to do with Jesus.
Right.
That's Dagon. That's one of his symbols.
Right.
Because the man told you in Deuteronomy 4, I don't want you to make an image of nothing in heaven. That's the stars. On earth, that's the men. He said up under the earth and the water, that's fish.
Right.
And all kind of stuff. Yet and still, we don't listen well. But we're going to go make that fish anyway. And you know what we can do? Because we can make it Christian.
Yeah, put Jesus.
We're going to put Jesus on that thing. And everybody going to acknowledge it. That's a Christian symbol.
100.
Ain't got nothing to do with God, though. But that's what Dagon is. Go look up Dagon. You ain't got to take my word. I know you don't like how I talk. I can't help it. But I'm going to give you scripture, though. So go look it up. Google it right now. You got your phone. Check me out right now. Don't let me lie to you. Huh?
Yeah.
Go look it up. Dagon, you'll see. Same symbol that the Pope got on his hat. Dagon. Go ahead. You reading about it right here. Go ahead.
They brought it into the house of Dagon.
Yeah, they brought the ark of the Lord into the house of Dagon. Go ahead.
And set it by Dagon.
And they got the nerve to set it right by Dagon. Go ahead.
And when they of Ashdod arose early on the morrow, behold,
what happened?
Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord.
He made their God pay obedience to him. He put their false God on his face before him. Is that correct? So watch what they going to do. Go ahead.
And they took Dagon and set him in his place again.
The nerve. So they going to say, maybe the wind came or something and just knocked him down. Right? So they going to pick him up and set him back up right. Go ahead.
And when they arose early on the morrow morning, behold,
what happened?
Dagon was fallen upon his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord.
What? And what else?
And the head of Dagon and both the palms of his hands were cut off upon the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon was left to him.
So the Lord said, I got something else for you. You want to play games? So you can't game a game. The man, he had him on his face again, but this time his head and his hands was cut off. Only thing left was a stump. But go ahead.
Therefore,
what happened?
Neither the priest of Dagon nor any that came into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon and Ashdod unto this day.
So they got so afraid they didn't even come back in that temple no more. These the priests of Dagon. They know something is going on. They know this ain't just failed two times. And on the second time, the head and the hands cut off.
Right.
You know, I ain't got time for this. I'm out. Go ahead. But you know what the Lord told? He said, that's how hirelings do. When they see the wolf, they see trouble, they run. Because they don't care for the sheep, they hireling.
Yeah.
Right? Go ahead.
6.
Yes.
But the hand of the Lord was heavy upon them at Ashdod.
Yeah.
And he destroyed them.
And what else he do?
And smote them with Demarides. Even Ashdod and the coast thereof.
Okay, so the Lord finna get some attention now. His hand heavy upon. They should have never captured this.
Yeah.
They don't know what type of God they dealing with. Right? So he smote them with bars and emeralds and all that. Go ahead.
And when the men of Ashdod saw that it was so, they said, the ark of God of Israel shall not abide with us.
So basically they came to the conclusion, this ain't never happened before. This ain't happened until we brought that ark in. If we wouldn't have never brought that ark in, when none of this stuff would happen.
Right.
So they saying this thing can't stay. We got to get rid of it. Go ahead.
The ark of God of Israel shall not abide with us, for his hand is sore upon us and upon Dagon our God.
And they recognize that. They know his hand is upon us and our God. Go ahead.
They sent therefore and gathered all the lords of the Philistines unto them and said,
what they say?
What shall we do with the ark of the God of Israel?
Yes.
And they answered, Let the ark of God of Israel be carried about unto Gad.
Get it out of here. Carry it back into their territory. Go ahead.
And they carried the ark of God of Israel about thither.
And what happened?
And it was so that after they had carried it about, the hand of the Lord was against the city with a very great destruction.
Yes.
And he smote the men of the city, both small and great.
And what happened?
And they had emeralds in their secret parts.
Go ahead.
Therefore
they playing no games, is it? Right, go ahead. You're going to get this ark up out of here. Go ahead.
Therefore they sent the ark of God to Ekron. And it came to pass that the ark of God came to Ekron, and the Ekronites cried out, saying, They have brought about the ark of God to Israel to us to slay us and our people.
So they're like, why you bring that ark over here with that mess? It's like, get this out of here, man. No, this can't stay. They said they done brought this thing to slay us. All right, but they like, we got whatever the case may be, we got to get it off us, right? So they pushing blame. Come on.
So they sent and gathered together all the lords of the Philistines and said,
What?
Send away the ark of God of Israel,
right?
And let it go again to his home place.
That's right. Yeah, get this thing out of here. Get it back to the Israelites. Right? Come on.
That it slay us not and our people.
Right.
For there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city. The hand of God was very heavy there.
Right.
And the men that died not were smitten with the emeralds.
So the ones that he didn't kill, he smote them with emeralds. Go ahead.
And the cry of the city went up into the heavens.
And so what happened? Go into chapter 6, verse 1. Come on.
And the ark of the Lord was in the country of the Philistines 7 months.
They had 7 months of hail on their hands. Right? The Lord's hand was heavy against them. Go ahead.
And the Philistines called for the priests and for the diviners, saying, What shall we do with the ark of the Lord? With the ark of the Lord?
They know one thing, they got to get out of here.
Yep.
Right? Go ahead.
Tell us wherewith we shall send it to his place.
So they like, no matter what, just tell us where we got to take this thing.
Right.
We got to get it back to its proper place. Go ahead.
And they said, If you send away the ark of God of Israel, send it not empty.
What?
Send it not empty.
They knew. These strangers, these people, they knew you can't send this thing away empty. They knew this is a great king. When you send it back to its proper place, what do you say?
Send it not empty.
Come on, y'all, what we doing here? Just me saying this, or this the Bible?
It's the book.
Yeah, send it away, not what?
Not empty.
Go ahead.
But in any wise,
what you gonna
return him a trespass offering.
Oh my goodness. Give him an offering. Right?
Yep.
A trespass offering.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Then ye shall be healed, and it shall be known to you why his hand is not removed from you.
And once you do that, you'll be healed, and then you will know the reason why his hand was this heavy on you. Go ahead.
4.
Yes.
Then said they, What shall be the trespass offering which we shall return to him?
So they know they got to give something, so they're trying to figure out, okay, what should we give him? What can we come up with? Go ahead.
They answered,
yes.
5 golden emeralds and 5 golden mice.
Yes.
According to the number of the lords of the Philistines, for 1 plague was on you all and your lords.
That's right.
Wherefore ye shall make images of your emeralds and images of your mice that moor the land. And ye shall give glory unto the God of Israel.
So you got to do that, and you still got to give glory to the God of Israel. Imagine how, if they gone was real, how you would have felt. You got to give glory to another God.
Yeah.
But this election, it's only one God. King over everybody. So he said, don't send them away empty. Send them away with a trespass offering. So they came up with 5 gold emeralds and 5 golden mice. He said, according to the number of their lords. Right? Go ahead.
Peradventure, he will lighten his hand from off you, and from off your gods, and from off your land.
Right, so that's what they hoping for. All right, go ahead.
Wherefore then do ye harden your hearts as the Egyptians and the Pharaoh hardened their hearts?
Right, so they done heard about what happened in Egypt when the Lord came through with all that destruction. So they said, no, let's not be like that. Let's not hard like Pharaoh, you know, when the Lord came through with all that destruction. Go ahead.
When he had wrought wonderfully among them.
Yes.
Did they not let the people go? And they departed. Now therefore make a new cart, and take 2 milk kine, on which there have come no yoke.
Yes.
And tie the kine to the cart. and bring their calves home from them.
Right, so they know they can't just carry this thing any kind of way. They know they got to carry it in a cart. And they said it gets them kind where the yoke haven't came on. That's the animal that's gonna carry it.
Right.
And he said you got to get something that ain't never worked before to carry this ark. Right, go ahead.
8. And take the ark of the Lord, and lay it upon the cart.
And do what?
And put the jewels of gold, which ye returned from him for a trespass offering, in the corner by the side thereof, and send it away that it may go.
Right.
And see if he goeth up by the way of his own coast to Beth-Shemesh.
Right. Now, when you send it away, you watch it now. You make sure this thing don't turn around and come back and find its way back in our country. All right, go ahead.
Then he have done us this great evil.
Right.
But if not, then we shall know that it is not in his hand, that it is not his hand that smote us. It was a chance that happened to us.
Right, because you know the Bible tell you time and chance happen to every man. So this is their way of measuring the truth. Whether the hand of the Lord was really upon them for this matter, or whether it was just by chance.
Right.
So they gonna know. Go ahead.
10. And the men did so, and took 2 milch kine, and tied them to the cart, and shut up their calves at home.
Right.
And they laid the ark of the Lord upon the cart, and the coffer with the mice of gold, and the images of their emerods.
Right.
And the kine took the straight way to the way of Beth-Shemesh, and went along the highway, lowing as they went, and turned not aside to the right hand or to the left.
Right.
And the lords of the Philistines went after them unto the border of Beth-Shemesh.
Right. They was following behind. Right. Go ahead.
And they of Beth-Shemesh were reaping their wheat harvest in the valley, and they lifted up their eyes and saw the ark and rejoiced to see it.
Right.
And the cart came into the field of Joshua, the Beth-Shemite, and stood there where there was a great stone, and they clave the wood of the cart, and offered the kind of the burnt offering unto the Lord.
Verse 16. Go ahead.
And when the 5 lords of the Philistines had seen it, they returned to Ekron the same day.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the golden emerods which the Philistines returned for a trespass offering unto the Lord. For Ashdod 1, for Gaza 1, for Ashkelon 1, for Gath 1, and for Ekron 1.
Right.
And the golden mice, according to the number of all the cities of the Philistines belonging to the 5 lords, both of fenced cities and of country villages, even unto the great stone of Abel, whereon they set down the ark of the Lord, which stone remaineth unto this day in the field of Joshua the Beth-Shemite.
Go ahead.
And he smote of the men of the Beth-Shemesh, because they had looked into the ark of the Lord, even he smote of the people 50,000 and 60 men.
They should have knew better. They should have knew better. They know that only the Levites was even allowed to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord let the Philistines do it because they had to get it back to its proper place. But once it got back to the land of Israel, they should have knew.
Mm-hmm.
So they gonna call themselves, these Israelites, looking into the ark. They open it, looking, and God smote them out. How many you say?
3. It was 50,000 and 60 men.
Go ahead.
And the people lamented because the Lord had smitten many of the people with a great slaughter. And the men of Beth-Shemesh said, who is able to stand before this holy Lord God? And to whom shall he go up from us?
That's right. So it's all about respect. It's all about reverence and honor. And making sure the Lord get what's due. It's all about your attitude towards it. If you fear him, you won't trespass against him.
Right.
These people get major punishment for trespassing against him. All right, finish that chapter out and we'll move on.
21.
Yes.
And they sent messengers to the inhabitants of Karash Jearim, saying, the Philistines have brought again the ark of the Lord. Come ye down and fetch it up to you.
That's right. Pick me up at 2 Kings 8, verse 7. 2 Kings 8 and 7. So you see, they couldn't even return the ark empty. They had to cough up some. Verse 7. So we're going to see, and this here, we're going to show you when you give it to the man of God, it's just like giving it to the Lord. So a lot of times, you hear it's commonplace, I ain't paying my tithe, but that preacher going to do such and such with it. Well, whatever he do with it, like we say, they got to answer to the Lord. But you're going to have to answer for not giving.
Right.
Because the offering has always been to the Lord. That's what people miss when they preach and teach against giving tithes and offerings.
Right.
It ain't for the priest.
It's not.
It's for the Lord. And we don't get paid up here, just in case anybody wondering. I'm doing this for salvation. All right? Verse 7, go ahead.
And Elisha came to Damascus, and Benadad, the king of Syria, was sick.
Okay, so you got the king of Syria, his name is Benadad, right? He fell sick. And what happened?
And it was told him, saying, the man of God is come hither.
So somebody in his camp told Benadad that the man of God is coming to our city, right? Come on.
And the king said unto Hazael,
that's his servant. Go ahead.
take a present in thine hand and go. Meet the man of God.
You said what?
Take a present in thine hand and go. Meet the man of God.
Ain't no way we can get around. He said, take a present in thy hand and you go and meet the man of God for what?
And inquire of the Lord by him, saying, shall I recover of this disease?
All right, so you want to inquire, you want to answer from the Lord. That's what you do when you pray. Also, y'all just praying without wanting to answer. Who do that?
Nobody.
Where they do that at?
Nowhere.
Nobody does that, right? So this man was the same way. He wanted to answer from the Lord. Guess what he did? He said, man, you take a present and you go and you meet the man of God and you inquire the Lord and ask, will I recover this disease? Come on.
And Elisha said unto him,
yes.
Go, say unto him, thou mayest certainly recover.
So this is what Elisha told Hazael. He said, go and tell Abinadab that you may certainly recover. Go ahead.
Howbeit the Lord hath showed me that he shall surely die.
Right, but he said, really, the Lord done showed me he going to die. Go ahead.
And he set his countenance steadfastly until he was ashamed, and the man of God wept.
What are you crying for? Let's find out.
And Hazael said, why weepeth my Lord?
Right, he said, what you crying for? Go ahead.
And he answered, because I know the evil that thou wilt do unto the children of Israel.
Talking about Hazael, because remember, he told the king going to die. But he telling Hazael to go and tell him that he going to recover. I guess so he don't kill him before he die. Because he the king's servant. So he's saying, so Elisha started weeping. He said, why are you crying? And he said, what?
Their strongholds wilt thou set on.
He said, because I know the evil that you would do
to the children of Israel.
So I guess once you take control of power, the Lord already showing me what you're going to do. And this is why he's weeping. Go ahead.
Their strongholds wilt thou set on fire.
Right.
And their young men wilt thou slay with the sword. And will dash their children and rip up their women with child.
Right. So this is all the things you're going to do. Right. But remember, he only reason he getting his answer because he approached the man of God correctly.
Right.
Right. Go ahead.
And Hazael said, but what? Is thy servant a dog that he should do this great thing?
Right, so he's in disbelief that he going to do this. Right, go ahead.
And Elisha answered, the Lord has showed me that thou shalt be king over Syria.
Now it made sense to him why he said he's going to do that stuff. Because he told Hazael, basically, your master going to die. You're going to be king over Syria.
Right.
And once you become king, the Lord has showed me what you're going to do to Israel. So that's why he was weeping. But the man got his answer. He got an answer. He approached the man of God correctly, with respect. So it's just like, and when he approached him, he inquired of the Lord. So he got his answer. He paid, they did it right. The Lord dealt with him. So a lot of times, once you don't come to the Lord correctly, if you ain't sinning, that's probably why you're not getting your request granted. Because we gotta have a better attitude toward God. And like I say, a lot of them say, oh well, yeah, I know God don't really need it, right? But pick me up in 2 Timothy 2. This will be one of our last scriptures. 2 Timothy 2. Somebody tell them we about to wrap it up. 2 Timothy 2. Verse 6. It's not about whether the Lord needs it or not. It's about, are you willing to come to him right? Don't let this stuff have rulership over you.
Right.
Just like the man, that rich man, he wanted to know how he got eternal life. Or said, keep the commandment. He said, I did that from my youth up. He said, what do I lack? He said, go sell everything and follow me. The man couldn't do it. Because those possessions was where his heart was. Or say, where your treasure is, that's where your heart going to be. That's why he required us to act like that. Give and honor the Lord with your substance. Just to let him know that this ain't your God. Or you don't put this before me. Right? Verse 6. Go ahead.
The husbandman that laboreth must be first partaker of the fruits.
That's right. That's what the Lord do. He came, he lived his life, he conquered it. Right? He laboring. Why wouldn't he? Any man that labor or plant a vineyard, why am I planting a vineyard? Because I want to reap the fruits, right? Mm-hmm. That's what the Lord is telling you. He said any man that labored is a partaker of the vineyard first. Why wouldn't he receive from you? Right? What they say? Read that again.
The husbandman that laboreth must be first partaker of the fruits.
Okay, John 15:1. This is who their husband is. That husbandman man is. John 15, verse 1. This is, I got a couple more, but we'll wrap it up right here. John 15:1, he said, the husbandman, the laborer must be partakers of the fruit. First, go ahead.
I am the true vine.
That's what Jesus said about himself. Go ahead.
And my Father is the husbandman.
Nah, that's the husbandman he talking about. So that's what the Lord tell you. My Father work and I work too. He said, do the works of my Father. That's why he can be partakers of what you got. That's why you got to come to him right. Every place he done did it. He know how we think, how we operate. He know what we hold back from. He know that we don't come to him correctly. You see, he laid it out for us to see. He turned the mirror on us so that we can really, you don't treat me right. You don't treat me like the king that I am. Once you start doing that, you can get a better relationship with God.
Right.
Your faith increase because he'll start moving for you. The reason why you don't believe because he's not moving for you. Because you're not coming to him or approaching him right. It's a domino effect. So that's why we got to learn on how to treat him. Once we learn that, then we start doing it. Then the Lord will move for us. So I hope we all got some understanding on how to show reverence to the King. And in Jesus' name, I thank you for your time. Amen. They on the way. All right, let's make sure we everybody walking around and meet and greet our guests. We'd like to thank y'all for coming. Those who came last week, we thank you for returning. It's good to see you. All right, it's good to see y'all kept y'all word. All right, now you Ecclesiastes 5. Right? You made that